Dear Diarrhea, diary full of shit. Just play along with myself and I, no one else. Yo, I'm so legit. Listen to me to some YouTube, and it popped up as a suggestion. It's a channel that I've subscribed to for many years now. It's called the Infographics Show. So it's a guy telling a story about history, and they got cheesy, basic little cartoons to kind of help tell the story. But you don't need to listen or look at the cartoons to get the gist of what the guy's saying. And it was one about Genghis Khan, the Mongolian leader. That guy, I'm sure everybody knows who he is. It's not, or if not, look him up. It'll pop up. But and I'm not sure if that has something to do, because it was just a pop-up suggestion. I'm not sure if that has something to do with the fact that I just posted an audio presentation where I'd mentioned military. It was just a brief thing, but I don't know if that's how YouTube works, but it seems like something they would do. That has happened before, where I had mentioned something in an audio presentation that I uploaded, and I got suggestions for something I was talking about. Now, sometimes weird stuff happens, like something I'll watch on YouTube and then I'll see it in real life, such as the Paul Newman R-Pain stuff and the R-Pain stuff that I saw today. And then again, that talking about that, World War II bomber and then seeing a fucking World War II, so life is weird sometimes. I've talked about that before, and I don't give it much thought, I just don't. But, what is life anyway? Meh. What's that got to do with me? And like I said, there was a phase in my life that was, in hindsight, I suppose it's a good thing, maybe, baby. But I think it was at least a couple years, and I've never felt that way in my life. Just so bad. Couldn't tell nobody because they wouldn't believe me. Nor did I want to, because I'm not the kind of guy who tells people that shit. I've talked to therapists before growing up, but it was because, I was a kid who, had some terms and conditions that I've mentioned before. So my parents were like, well, he's doing this, he's doing that. And then, it was discovered, and then it's like, okay, well, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and that's that. And then, of course, like the AA meetings and stuff that I went to, it's like, y'all fuckers are screwed. I'm not an alcoholic. I just drink too much, and I meant it. And I said that at the time. It's like, I know that sounds arrogant, but believe it or not, I am special, and the rules don't. Even back then, I was kind of, it's whatever. So, that was part of a bargain deal, leaving rehab early. And rehab was a trip. I've mentioned that before. I stayed there for 2 months. Somebody had actually said it was like a reality show without the cameras. It was an even mixture of guys and gals. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Just all of it. The transporter guy, walked upstairs. Everybody's there. There's this guy, bald-headed dude in a leather jacket in the corner. I'm like, yeah, I know what this is. Got it. Let me use the restroom here. I'll be with y'all, folks. And yeah, it was a trip, I guess. But and even back then, we had these meetings, so like I said, I am so wise. Like a little Yoda, only bigger than Yoda. And whatever. That's from the movie Anchorman. You pooped in the refrigerator and ate the whole wheel of cheese? I'm not even mad. That's amazing. I just happen to remember that line. You're so, Baxter, you know just how to cut to the core of me. You're so wise. You're like a little furry Buddha. That was funny when they were making the prank call, and you should probably, pack up your stuff and move to Antarctica or whatever. And she's like, I can see you. And he hangs up, and he's all like, "You're stupid," and whatnot. And, they're laughing. He's all like, I think she bought it. It's funny. It's just a good, happy movie. Good old Ron Burgundy. What's his real name? If I were stranded on a desert island and all I had to eat was a dead rotting fish and a Wahlburger, I'd eat the dead rotting fish. They were having a contest, him and Mark Wahlberg, who could make the first one laugh. Who could make the other one laugh first. Yeah, I remember watching him on Saturday Night Live back in the day, baby, hey, hey. I used to watch 30 Rock with Tina Fey, who was on Saturday Night Live back in my day, baby, hey, hey, Tina Fey. And, 30 Rock, her nickname was Lemon, and it was kind of funny with, what's his name? He's got the brothers. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't. Anyway, and I remember when he hosted Saturday Night Live. It was like the first Iraq Gulf War, because he had mentioned it. Because it would always start with the skit, and then they'd say, "Live from New York, it's Saturday night," and then the music would start. And I'm not sure if they went to commercial at that point or they just got into the skits. If supposedly it was live, they probably went to commercial, because it started at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, so 11, 12 New York time. But anyway, she walks in and he's all, "Lemon, you've got a pencil sticking out of your crotch," and it's like it's funny because, she was, your mind is left to go where it may, and you can't help but think, I think maybe she was twiddling the Tic Tac, but whatever. Yeah, it was a good show. I used to watch The Office with, what's his name? Steve Carell. I would watch Archer. Things We Do in the Shadows, which was a good show. I liked it. Maybe it's still on, but I just sort of, things happened and just it sort of fell by the wayside there. And back in them days when I had DirecTV and it would save on TiVo, I'd watch a lot of shows on National Geographic, Discovery, History, stuff like that. I don't have DirecTV. I might look into getting that. I'll have to find out like how it works and whatnot. Because I do miss that. There was some good shit, on the History Channel and National Geographic. I love nature shows. Always have. Who doesn't? But like I said, I'm kind of fucked up and twisted. When I was a kid, and well, a couple things. When like the lions were eating, a zebra or gazelle or wildebeest, it would like make me hungry, when they would tear out chunks of flesh, and that's kind of weird. Just being honest, I turned out all right. Grew out of that phase, but and then what else? Whenever like the alligator would get the zebra, or I'm sorry, the zebra, and they make that noise, and it's like, yeah, get him, and it's kind of fucked up and twisted, I think I may have been evil. Grew out of that phase, but anyway. And in movies, Like secretly, I would always kind of root for the bad guy. Oh shit. That, yeah, again, I grew out of that phase, you know what I mean? What do they call that? The anti-hero, or whatever. But no, what was it like? I'm trying to think of an example. It was kind of weird. It was just like in certain things, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they came out, the first ones back in the day. I wasn't rooting for Shredder. Or hell, maybe I was. And it's a movie, right? So you know he's going to fucking lose, but it's like, yeah, give him a good run for the money. Um, but anyway, but again, another infographic show popped up, worst punishments in history, because now it's like, a bunch of them from that. So I clicked on that, and one of them was, a pit of snakes, and it talked about vipers and how rattlesnakes are actually vipers. And there's rattlesnakes out here, not a lot, but and I bought some signs that says warning, watch for rattlesnakes, but it got me thinking that could be a lawsuit in the waiting, because if somebody gets bit and you have a sign that states that you are aware that there's rattlesnakes out here, being a kind of fucked up world that we live in, that might not be enough. And I've talked about this before, as far as like being sued, if you're a business owner or whatnot. What if somebody can't read the sign? What if somebody doesn't know how to read? What if they're dyslexic? So it's like you knew that there was a problem out here and assumed that just simply putting a sign up, what are you going to do? They live out here. The thing to do is to keep the weeds mowed short, so I hear. But anyway, it just got me thinking. I will keep the weeds mowed short, but I'm not going to put up those signs for that reason. So it's like, if you've got a curb, or a bump, in a walkway, and you paint it yellow. Well, again, what if somebody, has glaucoma or whatever, You simply stating that there's a problem here and that you're aware of the problem, and you know what I'm trying to say, dog? It's like you have to get rid of that bump. You have to protect people from themselves. So, and that can be a little hard to do sometimes. I mean, it's impossible, really. Man, I encountered this girl the other day. I was on a roadway on private property that headed east and west. I was heading west. I needed to turn left and head south onto another roadway on private property that headed north and south. So I had my blinker on, and it was one of those intersections that's really busy, and there's like a public road where there's a bunch of traffic coming in, and you have to not only watch the people, to your left and to your right, but the people out on the road who are coming in, because I needed to have room to get out there and get my trailer out of the way, because I was in my tractor trailer at work. And there's two cars left, and there was nobody behind them. So I'm like, well, once these two go, I'll be able to pull out there. But this broad stops, and she waves me out. Now, try and picture this, dear online family and friends. I'm sitting in the cab of my truck looking out my windshield. If you were to draw a straight line from the left side of my truck, or the left steer tire, she was probably a half a car length back from that line. Do you think I can make that corner with this trailer? That's alarmingly stupid. She was trying to be courteous, and I waved her on. And the car behind her was back a little bit farther, because I think maybe she thought, the car was going to have to back up or something. So, I went ahead and made it around her, with like a foot to spare or something, nice and slow so they don't freak out. But that is really, really bad. And like I said in my last audio presentation, I'm done, with humanity. Nothing like super bad happened. It's like, what, because of the truck? Yeah. Yeah, actually. Why would you set up a truck like this? I'm stepping on the gas and it's not going, and it's like, why would you do this? Why would this even be an option, And you got fucking faggots like, Puss Boy, Mrs. Butthead's former little boyfriend. I didn't know she was down with that lesbian shit. But, hey, whatever. Like I said, that's his. You got to mention him now? Yeah, actually, yeah. Because, like I said, I know this sounds kind of weird when I mention her. Well, there's no Instagram. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe, baby. Hey, baby. But, I can hear a donkey in the background. Hee-haw, I think I hear a donkey. Hee-haw, you're a weird motherfucker, G. It's from the Cottonmouth Kings. Forget which song it is. They're not together anymore. It was D-Loc and like Johnny Richter doing their own thing for a bit there. I think they may just be done now. They're all old and shit. They smoke weed their whole life. They're probably, they're probably like in their 50s, but, feel like they're in their 60s. Fucking potheads. But it's natural, bro. It's an herb. Well, if too much food can kill you in excess, I think too much Mary Jane can too. My throat's kind of scratchy. It itches. Oh, boy. So. And they teamed up with the Insane Clown Posse, ICP, another band that I liked. Yes, indeed. I like a lot of their songs. Chainsaw Chuck is kind of goofy. Hocus Pocus. I first heard about him the fourth Joker's card, the Great Malenko. Turns out they're evangelical Christians. Yeah, heresy much? Wagon, midnight dragon. Or dead bodies dragging. In the wagon, we don't do drive-bys in the wagon. We just jump out and stab your fucking ass. Ooh. Evangelical Christians, eh? Shangri-La. Oh, okay, or whatever. Yeah, I saw a video. It was Shaggy 2 Dope. Because it's Shaggy 2 Dope and Violent J. Miracles is another good one, too. Which is a little more toned back, but okay. I just like their sound. I don't give a fuck what they're singing about. But I guess there were some juggalos, as they're called, who actually tattooed a clown face, on their face. And it's like, yeah, I can't get jobs now and stuff like that. And good old Shaggy T-Dope, he totally threw them under the bus. They're what made them. So instead of saying, hey, guys, I appreciate the love and the dedication, but, I'm going to be honest. Witches. That's a bit much. I wish you the best, Like I said, I don't know exactly how to respond to that. I'm flattered, but yeah, you fucked up, bro. That would have been the right way to handle that. But instead, he kind of punked out and was like, dude, it's just makeup. I don't wear it all the time. So it's okay. You have just lost a juggalo. But anyway, I've been to Detroit before, back with my other company. They really do sell Fago in Detroit. I don't remember if I bought any, but yeah, it's a cheap, bargain brand sody pop. Yeah, man, yeah. Anyway, unforeseen consequences, baby. Unforeseen consequences. You know? Well, if you're aware of something, now it is completely and 100% your responsibility. And think about that. I guess, because when shit happens, people want their pound of flesh. So it's like, even though it's like, hey, it was a freak accident, shit happens. It's kind of like you get lawyers involved and a judge and a jury, and things can get a little fucked up sometimes, you know what I mean? And well, that person would still be here if they weren't a fucking idiot. And the person was aware, and then, but like I said, the example I gave, so it's like, don't admit, because it's like, well, if and the UPS guy comes up, and he gets bit, did you do absolutely everything in your power to protect this man from himself? No. You know what I mean? And like I said, there's only so much you could do, but unforeseen consequences. Wise words. I always liked you, Lloyd. Always have. Best damn bartender from here to Timbuktu, or Portland, Maine, or Portland, Oregon, for that matter. Wise words. Unforeseen consequences. I'll tell you what. I haven't touched a drop of liquor in a month, and I've got 3 bottles in my closet. Yippee-yi-yay, motherfucker.